Hello and welcome to this edition of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service, or SKNIS, Week in Review. This program offers a roundup of the highlights of government-related activities and programs that have taken place over the past week. In this program, we focus on the period April 6th to the 12th. Coming up, St. Kitts and Nevis observes World Health Day, Phase 1 of the Island Main Road Rehabilitation Project set to begin, and 16th Conference of Governors General and Presidents of the Caribbean region hosted in St. Kitts. Stay with us for more details to these and other stories. Thank you for joining. My name is Jacqueline Bryan. St. Kitts and Nevis joined the rest of the world in observing World Health Day, which is commemorated on April 7th annually. The aim is to highlight the status of health and wellness universally on that day. This year's theme was Universal Health Coverage, Everyone, Everywhere. Minister of State with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, delivered an official World Health Day address. She said that access to quality health care is a basic human right of all persons, and every United Nations member country has a solemn obligation to provide health care, particularly to persons who may be marginalized.
As St. Kitts and Nevis celebrates World Health Day 2018, we should be mindful of the fact that good health is a blessing that should not be taken for granted. Every citizen and resident of our Federation has the right and the responsibility to police his or her health, to have regular medical checkups, and to practice healthy diets and lifestyles that are inclusive of regular physical activity. Our nation's healthcare providers in the public and private sectors are willing partners with our people, but good health begins with each and every one of us doing our part to get fit, get healthy, and remain that way for as long as possible.
Minister of State with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps. The Ministry of Health partnered with Ross University School of Medicine to stage a community health fair at the Pogson Medical Center in Sandy Point on World Health Day. Healthcare workers from the ministry and the university provided a wide range of free health screenings, including blood pressure, blood glucose, body mass index, vision, heart, and lungs. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis bade farewell to outgoing Venezuelan Ambassador to the Federation, His Excellency Romulo Henriquez Gonzalez, during a brief but meaningful gathering at government headquarters on April 6th. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley, urged the outgoing ambassador to keep visiting the Federation as both countries continue to maintain a very good relationship, which he attributed to Ambassador Gonzalez's efforts during his tour of duty to St. Kitts and Nevis. The outgoing ambassador arrived in St. Kitts and Nevis on March 29th in 2013.
What an absolute pleasure it has been to work with you. I think the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and Venezuela has been enhanced and strengthened because of your presence and because of your hard work. Venezuela has been a very good friend to St. Kitts and Nevis over the years, and we are delighted to have had you.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley. On April 6th, 5 local contractors officially signed contracts signaling their participation in the first phase of the Island Main Road Rehabilitation Project. The 5 entities awarded contracts to participate in Phase 1 of the road project are Ali Construction, Boonies Construction, B&B Limited, Huggins & Son Construction, and O'Loughlin Construction. The contract signing ceremony took place in the vicinity of the airport roundabout. Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd, stated that once completed, the rehabilitation work will result in a significantly improved road network throughout the island. The first phase of the rehabilitation work, which is expected to commence shortly, will begin at the airport roundabout going eastwards to Keys Village. A second set of work will also be taking place at the camp's roundabout, heading west down to the Challengers community. The 16th Conference of Governors General and Presidents of the Caribbean region was hosted in St. Kitts and Nevis this past week. It began on April 9th and ran until the 12th under the theme Challenges of a Changing Caribbean. The gathering comprised Governors General and Presidents and Governors. The participants were hosted by Governor General, His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton, on the first day of the conference at Government House. In his address to welcome his colleagues, Sir Tapley expressed his delight and honor of having the heads of state in St. Kitts and Nevis for such an auspicious occasion.
As educators, scientists, as lawyers, medical doctors, judges, acknowledged cultural exponents, as linguists and crisis leaders, and I would challenge you to identify the various appellations as they apply to my colleagues here on the stage. We have all attained the acme of our professions and are able to bring this cumulative experience to serve our respective countries in the highest office.
Governor General, His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton. Government officials representing a wide cross-section of departments and ministries and stakeholders gathered at the Ministry of Finance conference room on April 9th to begin discussions on safeguarding St. Kitts and Nevis's intangible cultural heritage, also known as ICH. Marlene Phipps, Research and Documentation Specialist at the St. Kitts Department of Culture, referred to the Convention for Safeguarding Intangible Cultural Heritage to better explain what the focus of the discussion was about.
Intangible cultural heritage means the practices, representations, expressions, knowledge and skills, as well as the instruments, objects, artifacts, and cultural spaces associated therewith that communities, groups, and in some cases individuals recognize as part of their cultural heritage. This intangible cultural heritage transmitted from generation to generation is constantly recreated by communities and groups in response to their environment, their interaction with nature, and their history, and provides them with a sense of identity, continuity, thus promoting respect for cultural diversity and human creativity.
Research and Documentation Specialist at the St. Kitts Department of Culture, Marlene Phillips. The ICH project is a joint initiative with support from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, also known as UNESCO, Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund. The Ministry of Health recently rolled out a chronic disease self-management program, or Living Healthy program, created by Stanford University and introduced to the Ministry of Health by the Pan American Health Organization, also known as PAHO. The program is part of several initiatives being undertaken by the ministry to combat the challenges posed by non-communicable diseases, also referred to as NCDs. A chronic disease self-management program workshop was hosted by the ministry from April 9th to the 13th at the National Emergency Management Agency conference room. Non-communicable disease coordinator in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Marissa Carty, said that the program provides an opportunity for individuals living with chronic diseases to learn to take steps to improve their overall health. Members of the Forensic Department in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force are participating in a training course on specialized fingerprint testing as efforts continue to upgrade the capacity of the staff. Several weeks ago, David Goodwin, a fingerprint expert out of the United Kingdom, engaged a class of persons with varying skills that included novices, experienced police officers, and civilian staff. He ran through the basics of fingerprinting and followed up with advanced training for the forensic staff, who is reviewing specialized fingerprint topography, the use of chemicals and tools such as forensic lights, and how to preserve evidence while staying safe in the lab.
They learnt very well. They're keen to learn and keen to learn new skills, which is fantastic. And it's always nice when you're training to have an interaction with people that are keen to learn. There's nothing worse than standing in front of someone who aren't interested.
Fingerprint expert out of the United Kingdom, David Goodwin. The forensic department will be based at the new facility being constructed in Tabernacle. Children from the St. Peter's area officially joined the Explorer movement after the St. Peter's Explorers was launched on April 12th at the Dean Glassford Primary School. The Explorer movement is an initiative of the Ministry of National Security, who is partnering with the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force to launch the groups around the island. Crime reduction specialist Dr. Niels Chaitin said that the groups could have a big impact on the lives of young people and encouraged parents to be committed to the effort and support their children.
I've seen it myself as the ability of the clubs of this movement to help discipline. Because of course, ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that discipline starts in the home. And so today we challenge parents, mothers and fathers to hold the discipline of children, hold them accountable, teach them respect at home. Because of course, if we don't discipline them at home, what's going to happen is that that discipline or ill discipline would be moved onto the school, which is the second level. And then of course, if the teachers and principals can handle it, of course, it goes to the community and they get into the hands of the police. And of course, after the D word comes the E word, and that's enforcement at the hands of the police. So this club is really set up. Its mission is to help discipline.
Crime reduction specialist Dr. Niels Chaitin. And that concludes this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review. I hope you enjoyed it and that you join us next time. My name is Jacqueline Bryan and I was your host.
Stay up to date with news, programs and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.